individuals Sierra Leonean. We've taken this monthly press conference to address the issue about the Constitutional Amendment Act of 2025. The Constitutional Amendment Act of 2025 is an instrument that we have taken and digested properly, and one that we believe that as an opposition we need to go into the details of it. Our party has to explain to the public what our positions are on the respective clauses and ensure that the public is aware of what the government has espoused and engendered in that document. Indeed, you will hear from respective government operatives that this is a document of the APC and the SLPP. But I want to make it categorically clear that this document was drafted by the government's draftsmen. Indeed, items in that document will touch on what was on the constitutional review proposals, and it also will touch on what is in the tripartite recommendation. But it's important for us to make it clear that what is in that document is not by letter everything that is in the constitutional recommendations, and letter by letter everything that was in the tripartite. So today you'll be hearing from the respective panelists of what we believe this document should say and what this document should state and what should be in that document that will serve the interests of the people of this country. So without wasting time, I think it is but fit that we get an opening statement from the Secretary General, our National Secretary General of the party, who is here, the head and lead of the Secretariat. Mr. Secretary General, sir, the mic is on your side, sir.
Owai, Osai.
It's not live. Not live.
Mr. Moderator. Mr. Moderator, you will permit me. Well, I don't know if I should speak permission, but I believe this particular press conference touching on a very important issue dealing with the Constitution is so germane to what will happen to the future of this country and to generations yet unborn. And therefore, I want each and every citizen in Sierra Leone to hear my message loud and clear. It's not going to be very, very long. And therefore, I will communicate in what I know that they will be able to appreciate best. This particular issue, not a local issue, the kind of a way where the SLPP government, Madabio, and the conspirators there don't put this constitution together. Now a criminal enterprise, they keep everybody out. We try to be included. We try to be part of it. They will begin to tell, we say, no, let me not get white paper, let me not get black paper, let me not get blue paper, let me not get all the kind of paper, let me not get a soul, and the pollution no more than work. Now they don't come up with this particular document. When beaucoup nonsense they ban, bad thing, but not good for this country. Anything when you look at Constitution, if I let you consult the people then, consult them, so that if they make mistakes by accepting them, they go live up to that responsibility and take responsibility. Say yes, now we accept. But when they go on the ground, when they do all kind of things, they will go put on a parliament. The PI system. Now them pay money. money, they know that kind of thing. Then hire experts, say let them go all over this country. People they say they don't want the PR system. Why not put on a constitution? Not to bad people and not go do that. The people that wait for accept it, say they don't want that. You go put on a constitution back. I go left for the experts there. And then I am. Whether we can talk in detail about this constitution. About the simple majority where they put there. You know, people like the think say that they don't go get sense, all other people are fool. A simple majority there, it will get to a point in time, if somebody get 30% of the votes, if they rule this country, 30% of the votes. Because at that point in time, 30% they get simple majority. Because other people they get 10, 15, I don't understand. But now you get 30, now you get big passport, so now you rule the country. So which means 70% of the people there will not side with that 30%. When they for rule the country, now 30% now they can rule the country. And that kind of thing they bring by this constitution. We all owe a responsibility, not to the parliamentarian, they don't know, not to the executive of the party. We all get responsibility for team up against this constitution. Anytime where we are able. And with advice. The other day, I see Peace Commission Canada. I say, una they call una say Peace Commission. Una not they want the government say. Then they have a business here when they make. Now they bring kata. Una ready, una can APC party. Una say una want make peace. Peace Commission. Do ya? Una go tell Mandabio and the people that say this constitution. Now they may not begin now. Say PR system people that say they don't want to be too money. They don't force for people. They wanna tell them say they want bring kata in this country. PPRC. Una not say na APC for find APC. Provocation is next door. Provocation is next door. The government they provoke APC. Una know they talk nothing. Where APC exhibits now say this thing will not go take am again. Una begin say una want fight. This thing will not they take am again. We all as Sierra Leonean in the law won't be responsible. Let one come for twist constitution because we think they favor you. And una when they are here, the press and other people there, and una Sierra Leoneans they when they listen to me. So man go sit down in corner. He said because in an SLPP, this is well and good. You are fooling yourself and you are a dangerous element to this society. Because it is going to affect you and your children tomorrow. But for now you think it is good for you. Let us do waiting good for this country from day one. I am now specifically addressing our members of parliament, starting from you, our leader in parliament. This is your time. Money is not everything in life. There comes a time in a man's life when you get to define your character, you get to define yourself, what you stand for. Anybody in life will not stand for something, you stand for nothing. You have to stand for something. And now is the time for you to stand for something. Something where not only they touch on you, it touch on you begin where you get for born or where you don't born now. You get for feel the pinch of what you get for do in the parliament this term. This is a no-go area. For anybody in life, even somebody where he make that way, certain time they say no. This I am not going below this standard. I'm not this one. It's my red line. You are going to say red line. Let it be with red line. Let it be with members of parliament in a red line. We don't hear me and they talk in a corner. Then SLPP people there. We know how to deal with APC members of parliament there. They have started talking to you, some of you. The people of this country will not forgive you. I'm telling you, the people of this country will not forgive you. So many things have happened. But, as I said, whatever don't happen, a time for calm. wait for say this is my red line. Please, 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 APC members of parliament, let this be your red line. The people cannot castigate we for more win election. We go into money. So many things don't happen within the country, inside parliament, outside parliament. Let the people begin to believe in you. Mr. Leader, I know you people have tried very hard. Members of parliament, you worked very hard. Very, very hard. But let me tell you one thing. No matter how hard you've worked, there comes a time when one particular issue, if you don't try for all and try that one, people will feel say you don't do nothing. And this is the time. But one particular thing, the way they do, when you do them, people in the hell you say, unless you not be doing anything, and they say you have done everything for them in life. This one is it. You have our support. We will give you that support. And we are asking the people of this country, say they want to play bad habits by the constitution. Please give our members of parliament your support. The time is not yet late. I'm talking out to the government. It's not late. Una no see what you want to do na dangerous. Not only to we to una the government. To you, Madam Yo, and all the other government people left and una generation yet unborn. If una do what you want to do in this constitution, una not say not only they affect we, it affect you and una picking them tomorrow. Why you want to do it? It's not yet late. Remove that particular thing from parliament and let me make a right. We are not kicking against a new constitution if it is going to do good to this country. We are kicking against the bad things that are there. Why we not go a new constitution if it is going to save the problems of this country? Hey, we go love for do that. But we make sure say we will not cross the red line. APC get red line. I see the chairman of the census committee don't come. And the chief minister they talk all kind of tobacco business. All kind lao and flower business. They talk about the tripartite, they don't comply 100%. We not comply nothing to 98. Most of the issues that are kenkeni, we not even go not say it. And I want to sign this to the international community. And all Sierra Leoneans, waiting the chief minister in the top, in on the top 2 for say they don't comply 80%, you know, lie. The talk your way can talk for the attack APC. Nobody not caution I too. When APC talk no more attack and they want caution me. We not take caution again, we not caution them. For the census, you the head of the census. I'm not talking about logos, I'm talking about Madabio in appointee. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. We are not going to tolerate any kind of a noshi figure when they give. We don't see the first figure there. Them figure there, now rubbish figure there. When they send people there, now other side them, where when get interest ban, when they pack people there for go cut people there. When reach to the APC struggle, when they send 2 people there or 3 people there for go cut big side, where big pass, then side them na southeast, one of the key 10. 7, all big number. We are not trying to be regionalistic or tribalistic here. But we are drawing it to your attention that what you are doing is a disservice to this nation. Retract from that and do what is right. Otherwise, we cannot tolerate it anymore. You know, Mr. Moderator, there are times where things then come, where issues like this, tendency there, when you become emotional, when you talk plenty. And I think it is time for me to stop at this point and thank everybody, listeners, and everybody who wish well for this country. I thank you all.
One tell me, Secretary General, plenty, thank you. also just for the statement we give now, but for the passion we don't exhibit over time, we don't be Secretary General of this party. And even before he be Secretary General of the party, a patriotism we don't demonstrate to this country. I think I want to recognize eminent personalities and I have before we move forward. And we want to recognize, of course, the National Secretary General who just gave a statement. We want to recognize the former Deputy Secretary General of the party, Honorable Usman Abdal Timbo. We want to recognize the presence of the former Minister of Government and a flag bearer aspirant, Dr. Kelfal Amara. We want to recognize the presence of a former Minister of Government and a former aspirant of the party, name of Almami Petito Kuroma. We want to recognize the presence of the former Minister of Government in the name and also the leader of the Census Committee, when our senior comrades, Leonard Balugo Kuruma. We want to recognize the presence of a former Member of Parliament, Honorable Rosalind J.K. Smith. We want to recognize the presence of the Publicity Secretary, National Publicity Secretary, Comrade Sidi Yaya Tunis. We want to recognize, again, blessing for continue. We want to recognize the presence of the Deputy Leader too, Honorable Aaron Aruna Kuroma. We want to recognize the presence of the leader, our astute leader in Parliament, Honorable Abdul Kago. We want to recognize the members of Parliament the way they are today. The Deputy Whip 2 Denaya, Honorable Kemoko Conte. We get to Member of Parliament from Konom, Honorable Tamba Kelly, from Tonkolili, Honorable Daniel Bangura, from Bombali, Honorable John Charles Conte. We want to recognize the President of the Youth League, the untouchable, Nasu somebody so, Adeekwa. But I get a lot of respect to her, and I love her so much. Mr. Ansu Banad. We want to recognize the Secretary of the Western Region. They are with me today, I'm Tijan Sise. We want to recognize the members of Parliament who also double as the Secretary of the Western District, with Honorable Abdullahi Kamara, best man. We get Honorable from Kono, Lucida Kelly, Honorable from Tokolili, Jason Tambemko, Honorable Alaji Soriba Toure. We get Member of Parliament from Bombali, the Aeropass from Egypt from Western Urban District. I think now in Publicity Secretary, we want to call on somebody, wait for calm, talk now on issues that they touch on elections. And we don't hold to say we cannot talk about issues where they get for doing elections when we talk about census. And we don't learn and realize this government don't deliberately try to manage the information and ensure say they want to keep census out of this election. And we say that is wrong. Because from 2015 to now, we're not able to get a national census where we speak to the population of this country. And if we don't get a national census where they speak to the population of this country, you know, we will elect people that will represent the people of this country. The population of this country is critical. Because one, it supports economic development in our nation. If we maintain 7 or 8 million people, it will undermine the support or even we get from donor partners. So anytime when government is trying to skew the numbers or fix their political agenda, we need to resist that. So with that, I think I want to call on the senior country, where they need the census committee and the APC party, we na no other but Comrade Uncle Leonard Balogun Kuroma. But let me make a statement. Now put your hands together for him, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable members of Parliament here present, national officers here present, Black Bear aspirants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Estate. They don't ask me for talk about the census. And when they talk about census, certain terminology then they, where if I not take me time a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes, for explain to una, as we proceed, maybe una not going to understand clearly. A census of a country population of a country. But not only population no more than can count by a decennial census. A decennial census now every 10 years. 9 them for pull-ups. So during that 10 years, then they count the population, then they count schools, then they count farms, then they count other facilities, then businesses, because then they speak to not only the population whether they use for the limitation of constituency boundaries, they also use them for development purposes. So they get for being reliable data. So in the first place, before you hold a census, you can forget what they call a pilot census. A pilot census now 1 year before the actual census. A pilot census now a test census. It's like a dress rehearsal. For let them test the personnel, then test the equipment, then test the logistics, then make sure say everything they in place. Neither the pilot census. We don't do that one day. But interestingly, we get 5 regions in Sierra Leone. Statistics Sierra Leone choose for doing 4 regions that exclude the Northwest region. We don't know what the reason, but they totally exclude the Northwestern region. They do the rest of the 4 regions of the country. What will come out in the next stage now what they call cartographic mapping. Cartography is the science and drawing of maps. So the cartographic mapping, as the word entails, and they map out the entire country into what they call enumeration areas. That enumeration area, by definition, is a geographical unit. Say, for example, you take from APC office to Congo Cross Bridge to St. John, down to Ascension Town. That's why they can be one enumeration area. And the threshold for an enumeration area in the urban area like Freetown are between 450 to 600 people. In the rural areas, now from 300 to 450 people. So this stage, we did now, we don't do the pilot census, we did now by the cartographic mapping. Inside the cartographic mapping, we don't do phase 1 from October to December. We don't start phase 2 from January 19th to January 5. When the census process starts, the party in the wisdom decide to set up a census technical committee. For the first time in the history of politics in Sierra Leone, no political party not set up a census committee. So why the party decide to do this? Now because of the lessons learned from the discredited 2021 midterm census. The 2021 midterm census will not be participate as a party for good reasons. Also, the international community, they're not being participate because they advise against the census. They're not being seen necessary at the time. And then not be believe say the outcome of that census day and the data when they will derive from that census day, it will be credible enough for be used for developmental purposes. But the government decide to go ahead. The international community withhold funding. The government decide to find other ways to provide the funding for that census. Waiting at the result, we can't get now figures will not credible. Them figures then nobody know the user. The development partners know the users. The government know the user. Even ECSL, Electoral Commission for the last election, they not use the 2021 census figures. What they do, they take the figures from the 2015 census, when I had the last decennial census, every 10 years, whereby law that they're supposed for use. Then they take the one for 2021, then add them together, then they divide them by 2. I don't know whose kind of mathematics that one. But now they use. Yeah? So now what we can now for this 2026 census, we ask statistics alone, whose data must they use for this census? That is for all the processes and procedures. That is for the allocation of mapping teams. That is for the allocation for tablets, because the last census figures and the guide for set the parameters for the present census. Interestingly, at the last meeting, they tell we say that they use the 2021 census figures. So that alone, right there, that's a false start. It's a false start. Because they self-agree say the 2021 census been get a lot of challenges. It was a disputed census. In our view as a party, it was a discredited census. So nobody know for use them figures then they for guide the next census. Instead, we believe that by law, they will for use the data from the last decennial census, 2015, then they for use for guide the process for this census for the person. But they don't do that. So that is where we are at the present stage. So we don't raise a lot of concerns there. Number one, when they go to areas they forgo to the census, they know they tell with people there. They know they inform with people, they say tomorrow they can Kube. Next tomorrow they go to Dwaza. Next tomorrow they go to this area. So that the people let me go ready for come out and say me host at 10 people late, or at 15 people late, or at 8 people late. They know they do that. Past the people when they wake up the next morning, they see writing at the gate or at the domot. We don't believe say this proper. We don't raise them up in there. Secondly, the mapping teams when they send out, then they send more teams to other parts of the country than other parts of the country. For example, the western area supposed to get the largest population concentration in the country. Although 2021 they tell you say Kenema get population pass people. Well, nobody know accept or believe. So they don't send enough teams in the western area. In fact, western rural, as I speak, they don't see nobody. They don't say nobody there. Western urban, the same. The only Kisi area, East District, that they don't send few people left in some area. The locals, maybe. Then also last week, we get reports from the field for say, Potoko District, Koya Chiefdom, to be specific, they get people that when they call for statistics, when they tell the mappers, they say, if we are going to this post, I let more than 10 people and they 10 no more on the court. and they pass them. So they get the reports there from the field. Myself as census chairman in the past 2 weeks, I don't go Kono, I don't go Kailao, I don't go Kenema, I don't go Bo. I get for going to other parts of the country. Or talk to with monitors there on the ground and ask them what they go on. And I report them this what they get from everywhere. Statistics are alone by letter dated 16 September. They been right to we say they want partner with we for the census. They want to collaborate. They want to cooperate. And we as a responsible political party, we intention not to for obstruct or for confront. We don't talk to people, let's say them for register. But if you don't get the necessary information, how can we register? That letter they been giving accreditation powers. We get with monitors there. Now when I go around at the district census officers they tell them, say, no, we are not get accreditation. We are not allow them to participate in the process. Then they do the process clandestine with only the supporters of one political party. So me, I don't approach the party, I don't pass this information on to the party leadership. I don't pass this information on to Statistics Canada. Yesterday, I mean, there we are. I don't pass on all their concerns today. This morning, I just come up from Liberty Television. I don't pass on all the concerns. Tomorrow, I did 98.1. I'm on in Radio Democracy. Or pass on all of those concerns. For let the nation know. For let the people know. For let our supporters they know. Say, this is what is going on. And for let statistics alone, they change their ways. We don't start phase 2 of the census. But the result from phase 1, what I called we last week for go give the result, they're not giving the result to a percentage they give. They're not giving the number of enumeration areas when they don't come out that each district, because we believe that, because we get the information, we get them by other means. And it heavily concentrates by one part of the country, one section of the country against the other. Freetown is not being counted. So because of that, they hold back to the figures they did. And during the interview that we had, Sembe Pierre tell me say, according to their information, they say the UNFPA representative, the statistics alone, they don't raise concerns. So then kind figures there, oh they see so. How did it happen? Pujan district alone, where I blatant example. In the 2015 decennial census, Pujan district began 586 enumeration areas. This time, only for 2 months, Pujan district, where they with publicity secretary and Tunis come out, they don't get 730 enumeration areas. That 730, if we times them by the threshold of 450 per enumeration areas, we get 418,000 people inside 2 months. Me, I don't work in Abuja, I don't go to all of the chiefdoms there. See the Alaji, who side them people in Abuja.
And inside the sea.
So these are the things. These are the things. We believe the similar thing they happen in Kenema, Kaila, and other parts. So we, as a responsible party, will not affect. We call on statistics alone for come claim. Until they don't hold on to the results, they don't release a head, they say that they clean up, then they wash out and clean up properly, then give we correct results. So that for this time around, we not will repeat the mistakes of 2021. This time around, we will get a credible census data. Because without a credible census and credible census data, we cannot have a credible 2028 elections. Thank you very much.
I want the census coordinator plenty thank you. Indeed, we don't learn but putting from what he just said. And what he just said, a good indication say using 2021 as the basis for get logistics and capacity for this next census is a non-starter. Because we know say 2021, they're not going to have communities in the western area for country. So we don't see, we see the same pattern when they do 2021, they want to repeat them back by the census. I think say Upati will respond accordingly with the right statement. I also want to record say even our own communities there, we don't see any of their activities here they go on right now. And this time we're not going to take join me today, and I get Honorable our content from Inadogu district for Oyekanaya today. So I recognize the presence of the leader of the Bombali caucus, Mr. Yamba Kuruma, and Honorable Pastor Adama from the Western Urban, they are with me. So I think someone officially hand over this program to the boss. And our Bafodia brother is here, Honorable Amidu Ola Manzari is here with us. So I hand over this program and the mic to Alhaji Sidi Yaya to Mr. Forget for call Alhaji. First the Alhaji, they're always great. But we get committed young people already for who now hard for go touch the stone and for get the blessing and for change the course of the life. I think so we will follow that. Alhaji Sidi Yaya Tunis, you have the.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kuruma, honorable members of parliament, party officials, members of the Fourth Estate, comrades all, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome again to the first monthly press conference for the year 2026. Of course, this is not the first, but for 2026, this is the first. We've already gone into the conference and we've already had from one of our guest speakers, the Honorable Balogun Kuruma, who just going to talk to me about the census. And clearly, it all states the concerns that we as a political party get in areas that we have been focusing in order to ensure at the end of the day, not only that the census will be regarded credible, but then it will meet international standards and the figures will be accurate as far as the housing population of the people of Sierra Leone, or as far as the population of Sierra Leone is concerned, and also as per population distribution by districts. Those figures are important for many reasons, but more so for developmental reasons. And that is why we as a responsible political party do not want to sit around and allow the whole exercise to be politicized, as was the case for the 2021 midterm census. And I see a lot of emphasis being placed on certain districts there as the way it means that they go. Mayo district are one critical example where the census committee always done the emphasize as to how they see things that they happen there were suspicious. And rightfully, we for be suspicious as a political party. Because we feel say this is not the decennial census where the constitution authorized. But of course, pronouncements they will not read about intentions to create disputes, then we don't want this census to be used for justify the pronouncements they make. And also, speaking on that, I always know the area arguments where people they try to justify the decision where they want to use for create district. Oh, the APC will create district at Balaba and carry them. But today, I want to say something quickly. We get for first of all know the geographical spread of certain districts and at this point, the reason behind certain decisions where governments they make. Now, the APC government not be create carry them in Calabar because they just want add districts. When we take Falaba and Kwenadugu and be one district, with Kabbalah being the headquarter town. Now, Usai Mongode, when are the current headquarter town for Falaba district, the distance between Mongo and Kabbalah, if you drive, with the way how the road condition go now, you don't go take minimum, you don't go take less than 8 hours for drive between Mongo and Kabbalah. Now imagine in a Beleoma, the only hospital we be there now at Kabbalah town a day, the only government hospital, with all the facilities for dealing with complications and everything. The only senior secondary school at Kabbalah a day. So imagine picking for drive 8 hours for go school every day. Imagine somebody get for drive 8 hours for access medical care every day. Able, justifiable to them people, a fair to them people a day. Most people in Mongo are district like Kono or sometimes Guinea. Now they go for access to basic facilities. So now on that basis, the government believes the law make them place in district. So their facilities then they go come. They go get a hospital. They go get a schools. They go get the basics them. Where every district, every citizen of this country is entitled to. I want to get that day in mind. The same for carrying. If you take Kamakwe and you take Makeni, that distance there is far. But now, let me take what is there one for two. If you say you create Bandajuma district, Bandajuma and Pujong currently in one district. So they want to take half of Bo, half of Pujong, and create Bandajuma district. Now we assume say the headquarters town will be Bandajuma town. You know what's in the distance between Bandajuma town and Pujong town? And it take me 15 minutes for drive from Bandajuma to Pujong. 15 minutes. Now they take me from Bandajuma to Pujong. Compare that one day to 8 hours of driving from Mongo to Kabbalah. No government not for justify them kind of thing. No government. So these are things we need to understand reasons behind why certain government will take certain decisions compared to other government. We went from east from Bolubu to Kenema, maximum it will take you 30 minutes if the road fine. From Bolubu to Usai will likely be the headquarters for Bolubu district in the creator to Kenema to maximum it will take you for 30 minutes. Compare around it to 6-7 hours for drive from Kamagwe to Makeni. So these are things where we as citizens will know all with the aspect of government, when they don't come, make sure say we have construct the hospitals in Calabar, let them get schools, let Kamakwe get schools, so that then people the way they be the suffer, will be the struggle for access their amenities, they were able to access them, rather than them trying to create additional district when really not necessary. Even if population increase within a district, you don't create a new district. You go increase the wards or you increase the constituencies, but you're not going to create district. But clearly, they're not going to increase the constituencies and the wards because again, they don't do this illegal thing of, ignoring the constitutional provisions, which clearly make provision under Section 38 that a constituency will be used in this country. They want to introduce the PR, so they therefore justify the creation of district rather than the creation of constituencies. I hope we don't understand. These are the things who the fourth estate for the make let the people of this country know. So that comparison whether they try to make APC be do this now, it's quite different from their own intention. Having said that, let's now bring in the next speaker. As we all know, government don't care a bill going to parliament where that will amend the constitution of this country. But of course, that bill they focus on areas that are the constitution where they want to amend, where they have to do with election business. For some reason, they rush the election, want to go parliament quickly, and for trying to amend. And also, then they make reference to recommendations then at the tripartite report. But we they come to explain to una today why we feel say they're not honest and sincere with we in this country. Because the recommendations in the tripartite report and some of the things the way they put on the amendments where they want to do, then tweak them, then change them, they're different. But people will explain our way. And for let we start, one of the areas we'll get for look at are the new amendments where they propose. Now what you get for do with the appointment of the search committee for let we will forget electoral commissioners in this country. The tripartite recommendations be proposed how we feel say, we forget electoral commissioners and which body for be responsible for make recommendations of 5 citizens who qualify to the president for appointment. But of course, we see the bill, then tweak that one day small, and we will explain that one day. And now we also understand why make this important, because the tripartite report, now a report produced by representatives of SLPP government and the APC. So we not be say if we don't agree on something and you want for now put them inside the constitution, you for change the letters as they are in the report. No, good. So and they bring in Honorable Rosalie Chariot to Smith, when an astute female member of the APC and the honorable member of parliament, one of the finest who will be get at the 5th parliament. We can commonly call her JK. I will now call on Honorable 4th Parliament, Honorable Rosalie. Honorable Rosalie Chariot to speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and National Publicity Executive. I will stand by the existing protocol. Famulema afternoon. Atinat Nayaso as chairperson for all former members of parliament. We collaborate with the current members of parliament and the executive of the party or state the party position with regard to this constitution, a constitutional amendment with the SLPP government done in the parliament. To start with, the APC party is not against the review of the constitution. We want to make that very clear that the APC party is not against the review of the constitution. Family on Akini call say the election 2023 because of the yuki business where we did for the elections, where the SLPP government blatantly decided to teach the election. APC say we not agree because all the evidence we come out show say APC win the election. So we just forget the intervention of the international community, we come and they decide to bring the factions together. On the part of the SLPP, then we get the chairman, when Dr. Gaima, and the members that will represent the party, the government. And in the part of the APC, we get Dr. Kefala Maya, and members of the APC, when they represent the APC party. And when they sit down, that engagement, and then the international community, that's why it is called the apartheid, because there are three institutions that come together to form the committee, and then they call it the apartheid committee. And when the committee sit down, the two chairmen them from the government and the opposition, they agree to divide the group into three sections. Then we get the legal part, where SLPP get their own representatives. Then we get the one that we look at the electoral part, election management, where the one that we headed by, from we own side, Dr. Richard Conte, and from the legal side, the lawyer Boniface, we head down this. And then we also get pre-installing and when we look at the administrative side. So when they sit down at that committee, they decide to say, waiting at the problem. Waiting SLPP they try to amend the first section of the Constitution and section 32. And 32.3, and what did 32.3 say? Now the base constitution, the original constitution, it says, the members of the electoral commission shall be appointed by the president after consultation with leaders of political parties. We all go remember, say, when President Bio appoints Kone as electoral commissioner, he not consult with any political party. He take a unilateral decision to appoint chief electoral commissioner. So that's where the problem began. I think the problem began. We begin to see the dishonesty from that point. So when the tripartite committee sit down, they say no, we don't want this again. The president no go just sit down, use his own discretion. The committee decides for use the Kenya and the South African model. When they use that model, they bring a recommendation 36 of the tripartite agreement say we forget the search and nominating committee. Well, this search and nominating committee for be a body which will comprise of all walks of life. In this search and nomination committee, what did the committee look at and what did they copy from best practice? Not that we want to get a credible process in the election. We want to make sure that the people of this country, their voice they now who will manage the elections of this country. So here's the search and nomination committee. In this committee, they agree say member of interreligious council. We get an interreligious council that this country. The committee agrees say a member of the interreligious council. But when the SLPP they propose now, they say one person from interreligious community, not the council. So in other words, they can take anybody from anybody when they feel say in a religious person, they can go take one imam. They can go take one pastor. They say it belong or one sheikh. They say it belong. That is not what the recommendation says. We get a religious body, we call themselves a religious council. It's recognized by the people of this country. They say one legal practitioner who shall be a person qualified to hold office as a judge of the High Court of Sierra Leone. That was not in the agreement. So now the president can just sit down and say, okay, I get one person where don't qualify, don't practice law, so many years I can choose them. Then we get an association, the Sierra Leone Bar Association. Recommendation 36 says we forget a representative from the Sierra Leone Bar Association to represent this committee. And Then also go for this new amendment say one person from civil society. They also say one person from the private sector, Labour Congress, or Employers Federation. So in essence, all written in states now, not to waiting the recommendation say. And for the one that will follow the privilege, the Attorney General was so deceitful, excluding himself or the government totally from this recommendation. For me, or for us as the APC, that's deceitful because the representative of government, the secretary to president, Dr. Gaima, was representing the government of Sierra Leone. So if you are coming now to present a bill, you can say now, oh, not the government, so now APC. Something that all of us, APC and them agreed, you totally dismiss the fact say government is not responsible. And now, this such a nomination committee, the drafters of this recommendation, they say not to the president for appoint. But when they don't put that in the constitution now, they say that the president will get for appoint. The drafters of the recommendation, we suggest say, when the time reach, their institution here, the Bar Association will nominate one person and send the name to the president. The Labour Congress will nominate one person and send the name to the president. Because the reason why they want to do that, they want to ensure a credible process. And when they don't send their names here to the president will now send letters to the institution here for saying the committee now, then they form the committee with their recommendations here. Not to the president for appoint, that their institutions here so for appoint. And when they don't appoint, this committee now, the Public Service Commission, they will supervise this committee, that they will create office space for this committee. So if they want to get meeting, Public Service Commission will provide an office space, and that they now go sit down and set up, make the committee work with no interference of government. The committee now will now vet, they will send out application, they will advertise the position, they will develop the criteria, the qualification, and all the terms of reference for UDA, for the electoral commissioner and commissioners. So now that committee, they will sit down and advertise. And when they advertise, suitable Sierra Leoneans will apply. And when they apply, now that committee they for now vet them one day. When they don't vet them, then they shortlist 3 people. Now then 3 people are in the shortlist, then they send the names to president. At which time, president will now appoint from them 3 shortlisted names they. So if now the president, this bill, if it goes through now, the president I will get for and people that they want to forget. So they say who pays the piper, call the shot, eh? So if my president don't appoint me now, my allegiance now, that's what the president today. So the process don't become flawed. Because the president don't appoint me. So my allegiance now what the president wants now to make it do, now they do. So we are saying no to that. The APC is saying, let us stick by waiting the recommendation say. If we stick by waiting the recommendation say, then we are home and dry. We want to ensure say, we get transparent, free, credible election. We want to get credible Sierra Leoneans. Not to anybody make a party. Well, everybody that enjoys to join party, but not to visibly, somebody will visibly work card carrying member. Everybody knows say, Kone was a card carrying member of the SLPP. Then you go select them, or you nominate them without recourse to other political parties. You go nominate them, you send an in, where you know send a party party for can lead this country election. And we see what happen, see the disaster will happen. Blatant abuse of the constitution, blatant abuse of the rights of the people of Sierra Leone. The people will wake up 5 in the morning to go line up for votes for the candidates of their choice, the person they want to be elected as their president, the person they want to be elected as their members of parliament, the person they want to be elected as a councillor. Before they run for council election, they don't announce a winner. Unprecedented. 60% where 20% of the country has not been counted. So again, the APC party not opposed to this. We want the right thing to be done. We don't want to make them skewer to fit their own convenience. And we want, they have not been sincere, but in this process, this is the people's constitution. Sovereignty belongs to the people. The people of Sierra Leone, and they get rights to this. You cannot alter some section of this, particularly section 108, without equals to the people of this country. This constitution are the people's constitution. If you make any change, you get to go back to the people. And the APC supports any change where they in line with the recommendation when the APC did not accept their signatures. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. As Ronaldo clearly did not highlight the main areas where we don't begin raise concern. I mean, the whole idea of the tripartite and the agreement for national unity for fixed problems, not only for create more problems. When all we see the complications will be to get even over agreeing on a simple definition of consultation. Everybody there your way the interpreting consultation mean as far as they relate to the election, to the appointment of electoral commissioners. And that make a report, they make their recommendations there, unless we get clear way will appoint people to that commission a day, and also unless we reduce the absolute power where the presidency gets or where the executive gets over the appointment of electoral commissioners. So we don't get recommendations where we get for address the one they did, we come again, we tweak their recommendations then for give the president the same powers or even more powers than the one way they get correctly. I will bring in the next speaker, but before I do that, I want to quickly recognize the Diaspora 6th Region Publicity Secretary, Comrade Ibaru, and they are with me, and also Comrade Minkalu Noma, who is a strong member of the Publicity Department. Next, we will hear from Dr. Kefala Mara. He was, of course, a member of the Select Committee during the negotiations that led to the agreement for national unity, and he was also the co-lead for the tripartite committee that represented the APC party, the 7 people that will represent me, and one of the people that will be fully involved, in the negotiations and how we reach or get the report we get. He will speak to us about the spirit behind the recommendations of the tripartite report. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, corporate hall, let me welcome the substantive National Deputy Chairman, but also now acting as the National Chairman of the All People's Congress, Comrade Alhaji Usman Fode Yansadeh. Welcome, sir. So I will now bring in Dr. Kefala Mara, who will speak to us about the spirit behind the recommendations and the deviations from the recommendations and staggering of terms where we see and the proposed amendments. Dr. Kefala Mara.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. I want to join previous speakers I'll tell everybody thank you, and I want to stand on the existing protocol so that we don't waste time. Fumble them. the country there at a crossroad. And I want to draw everybody's attention, no matter which political party you are, but let you realize and appreciate this particular point today. We all there for open eyes, we all there for show concern, and we all there for support the reform process. And I say so because of my background to all of this. I get a lot for saying, but I think I don't say as much as I was saying now during the last press conference. Today, we get with honorable members of parliament, that are the APC members of parliament, where to host this special press conference. So I will only speak to waiting they ask me or talk to. They say make a shout to now the spirit or waiting informed. Waiting at the reasons for some of the recommendations they will make. And waiting that we take as to whether government really make their recommendations into law as we've been advised or as we've been recommended, or whether they tweak them for serve a new purpose. I want to tell you when I say key areas of concern. Now one of them is sister don't talk to. They don't share that with you now. The next one where I go talk to now are the census. The big brother, chief logos, don't discuss who side and day. But something they wait I want for share to now. As to why we do who side on the census. You know, before the 2023 elections, government been conducting and called midterm census. We will not ever experience in our country. What you know now, census every 10 years. When they do that census, the whole world says the report where they present their problems. So when we say so, they say, okay, then go look at the 2015, just as Brother Loku said, on all the things that they can use for manage and manipulate the 2023 elections. I wonder we know that after census, the result when they come out of the census, then government they use for draw up boundaries, for allocate seats, and for do plenty things around politics, as well as how for distribute and share resources across the country. So we say, because of what in the new 2021, I hope when I listen. Say this time, if we conduct census, we will not say SLPP, we will not say the government, we will say any government. If you conduct census, that after 10 years, the result of that census, that the report, for be ready 2 years before the next election. So that we will sit down around the table as institutions, as politicians, for work in parliament, for all what to do surrounding the elections. You know what they do? I would recommend that so them do it, that so them put on at the law. You go and say they do well, but they not do well. I'll tell you now what they do. Because the last 10-year census have been 2015, the next census will not take place last year, 2025, then delay the process. So 2025 passed. Now 2026. So that when the report of this particular census come out, we're not going to meet that 10 years, that 2 year deadline. That 2 year threshold will be missed. So if we say no, this is wrong, and then we say probably we should all go back to 2021. I hope when I get to it. When I get to it. Yes, sir. So they accept the recommendation, but they miss the deadline and then do and deliberately. Because they want to use the manipulated census result as they been do before for determining the next electoral process. So we as a political party therefore take a political decision on that. But that rests with the leadership. We hope to see very soon the leadership will guide me as to which will be the steps we will take. But around this census, we allow me welcome to waiting my brother, the National Publicity Secretary, to make a just give a few of what he shout about the district center. He did a wonderful presentation on Kwenadugu then. I just want to share a few things with you on that. Before we create or split Kwenadugu into two districts, that now Kwenadugu and Calabar. Kwenadugu alone will constitute 1/5 of the land area of the country. That now, if he shapes alone into 5, Kwenadugu alone are 1 portion, 1 of 5. And if you get any chiefdom, when in big past Gambia district, remember one chief, the big past Gambia district, as well as Fujian. The distance between Kabbalah and Kubola Oderi is now 110 miles. For Komon Kubola go Yarwadu, no road no day. You get for going inside Kono from Kubola, you drive, you go Combine there. From Combine there, you go Bunduya, from Bunduya, you go Betema, from Betema, they enter Yarwadu inside Kwenadugu district again. I hope when I get it. So if you do PHUs, you do health facilities there, and certainly the plenty communities will suffer. That's not some of the reasons why we need to split that district. But waiting in the bush now, it don't make any sense. The next thing, what they do this work now the tripartite, we will get experts them with they guide with. Elections experts from all over the world. We get one where they advise you on election laws, we get another on institutions, we get another on elections, we get another for voter registration, we get another for result management. We get all the experts there and the guiding committee as to the work. Then take a look at the threshold where we get for win presidential election. They say 55% too high, you know the low side. So now adjust that. We say okay. Based on the advice, we agree say for win presidential elections, the first round, the first ballot, will make somebody win. You forget 50% plus 1. That can anything above half of the people that will vote. Then in order to you forget at least 25%. Now half of the districts of the country. When I get what I say. For win presidential election, we don't go again to that 55%. Because you know the no side. So one can conform with what they happen at the rest of the world. But now we just say 50 plus 1. Because you get half of the people will vote plus just 1 on top of 2. No. We say 50 plus 1, then if you score at least 25% of votes, now half of the district then in the country. That's what we agree. We, government, development partners, on the advice of partners, we experts to put on the report. What we get now at the bill, now that for make somebody win the presidency, first round for just a simple majority. That simple majority, not to half vote, not to 50 plus 1. So let's say if now 6 or 7 candidates, the first candidate will come first is score 30% only. But because of that simple majority, don't be president, no. So now so they put on. Plus, you forget 20%, now 2/3 of the district. So you will begin seeing the intent of them and they are. So we rely on MPs to make sure waiting and say so not pass, that we will go back to waiting the tripartite committee recommend the 50 plus 1 plus 25% and half of the district. The next one was the electoral system we will get at the country. we APC say na constituency-based elections, so that everybody will be represented, every community will be represented in parliament as well as in local councils. It no matter which political party, but the community will be represented. Then say na PR, proportional representation. We go up, we stand on, we no agree. We and them no agree. So the expert then say, okay, if we not agree, what we go do? So well, this make we ask the people of Sierra Leone, let them decide. Not to win and this room therefore decide for them, because this is so topical, so critical. So for engage the public. What you then do, they recruit consultants and begin go around the country and not talk to me as a party. But the truth is, even when they go around the country, they not get what they want. Because it gets some paramount issues say no. Now, constituency-based elections we want. In fact, some of the chiefs then say the young areas not even get MPs. Una way they have to attest to that. That we get plenty communities, plenty areas in this country where no get MPs. Some small communities they get more than 3 or 4 MPs. It's not right. That's not a proper representational politics. That is not how we do it. Now all the civil society organizations in the country come together, they discuss the same thing, they vote. 57.9% of all of them agree say na first past the post, than na the constituency-based elections. Forget. Them party man not listen to anybody. Then just go ahead, remove what's in the constitution we talk about constituency-based election, and put PR. Then they say the kind proportional representation we will get, na parliament get for decide that. No. You don't already talk say this football match. The stadium, national stadium to be played. Election to now put the goalpost. That is not right. So what to every Sierra Leonean, what to consider no more and listen to MPs. What to consider no more and look at the process. And all therefore get voice and space to say no to this. Very important. If we continue to go down the PR, plenty institutions or communities will do well. And now you go understand the rationale behind, you go see the trajectory as to how they go. Manipulate census and end up for manipulate PR. And you see the hala no more APC, you dey sleep, open your eye and wake up. I hope when I get me. So we are saying no to that. Now, we look at what happened before 2023 elections. Then they just sit down and make all the decisions for purchase ballot boxes, for do voter ID where nobody know the even face properly, for go for ballot papers, then just do things on their own behind the scenes, they're not transparent. We don't know what will happen. So recommend say, make we do what will happen in other economies. On the PPLC, that are the Political Parties Liaison Committee, the Operational Committee of ECSL, we said that they sit down and make decisions. We say the chairman of ECSL will continue for chair, but then the 2 largest political parties will nominate 2, one from each side, then they become co-chairs. So when they sit down at that committee, the decisions they will make will be transparent, will be inclusive. You understand it? Them party man are not touched down it, today they don't delay, that not happen. It's not right? I will not accept that. The next one, we I will talk to now the divergent reports. We've been there concerns as a party that the way the Tally 2023 result was wrong. We went in the marketing and did not know say by the time as they bring Falaba and Kwenaduku ballot boxes at the place, before they even open and begin processor, Cornelio announced result. And we know say happen soon at plenty places. Not so? So we as a committee say no, if we not agree on this issue, divergent report, we make it clear that Tale no for take place again at the regions, it for take place at the district. So if Podloko vote, let them count and Podloko. If Cambia vote, let them count and Cambia. They don't need for take Cambia, carry their box, and bring all inside Podloko. When I get what you say, so that's not the recommendation. The good news is the international community don't help. They don't bring experts. They don't work on that. They don't provide advice to ECSL. We wait for let ECSL share that report between now. The other recommendation now voter registration. We say, and this is clear, NCRA data than a civil registration authority. The electoral data will then get me and Una, waiting and get for with it, then they get for take sent to ECSL. Now that agency said they don't get about 97% of the population of this country in their database. But honestly, when ABS take a look at where they register for APC, plenty not get national ID. So we say fine, we not share with this data. We wait and let them publish that data and make us see. But it's not happening. Then therefore deduplicate. We therefore make sure that audit that voter register as per standards. So the experts don't come, they don't do the study, they don't provide recommendations to ECSL, that's if they with ECSL. We wait for let them share that with me. Make we work together to ensure that we result management and voter registration process for meet international standards. That they don't delay. The man that done the report will just wait as soon as possible make them share with you. But today they are not communicating with me on that. Next, we look and say, ECSL they get so much powers. They say they're independent. We agree on our independent. But because the resources they use they come up from the consolidated revenue fund, therefore, we are subjected to Parliament for let Parliament oversee our activities. So therefore, we forget a special standing committee in our Parliament where we scrutinize what ECSL they do, so that ECSL could be responsible to Parliament, will report to Parliament. Once they're subjected to that, it will be good. Plus, the report of the Auditor General on ECSL, that will Parliament forget the right to look at. So therefore, set up a standing committee in our Parliament, dedicated committee for elections. Not just ECSL, but all the body the way they manage elections, who are responsible for elections, therefore be answerable to this particular committee. Pambulem will leader, Honorable Abdul Kago don't write to the speaker for being them set down the off. Take it they do not set up, they not come back to it. So now we'll see how they manage the charity. Then they pick and do waiting and think to say will help them for manipulate the elections, and left waiting and think to say no good for them. We will make the whole election process transparent. I will go on and on and on, but I just need to say to finally can speak to them one day so we all will understand as how things are. So from Musa Day, the APC as well as the rest of the public will now understand, say, the whole electoral reform process, whether it goes inside the constitutional reform or is under threat, is being manipulated, and government not always sincere when it comes to the implementation of NTD. It don't mean say good things are not there and they propose, but some good things are there. For example, that we forgive opportunities to people in the diaspora for vote. That will give opportunity to prisoners as per international standard for vote presidential election. That it will see more the effect with diaspora brothers and sisters for the way to allow them to participate. And that the disabled will be given opportunity for me to vote for them, let them be represented in councils and in parliament. All them good things are in there. But waiting government don't do in the way they don't handle and manipulate some of the recommendations that will be made, it's not good for the democracy, it's not good for the health of this country. So before I close, I have a few things to say. Everything I say, I want to take them very serious. Because I don't be part of this process for some time now. Now me present on behalf of the party when we go to the talks that been to money. Honorable Abunga goes 3 years of paper there for me. We put together 10 good areas, 10 good points where government use for the 2023 elections. And I tell when I say, what you present that day, with the CP signs every they go. Therefore, everybody will wake up. Grassroots members of the party will wake up. We don't begin that conversation with the National Publicity Secretary for organized one-day engagement with the APC media. We hope that this will happen soon. So that we meet our practitioners to understand what it exactly will mean and the recommendations and what it will be the long road to ensure that we push this process forward. And also the leadership of the party always stand by we as we hope. But I want to say something special. And I want to take that serious. I see, not just now, not just before. We talk about what happened in the case of Lara Piat and not for happening. We agree. But in the few days engagement with the members of parliament, and just when the party gave me the opportunity to serve as chief negotiator in the engagement with them in parliament, and waiting we agreed with them, the committee then set up for review all the recommendations that the tripartite committee and the work with me and my team for ensure that we take a look at this proposed constitutional reform bill and how they don't conduct themselves in this 1 or 2 weeks we just passed. Me one tell when I say I get confidence in the members of parliament. And I tell now why. Circumstances can change human behavior. So now I do when I say I let parable. When parable, if you look at it, it makes sense. The same letters, what do you use for spell Satan? S-A-T-A-N. If you take the N at the end, you bring them at the third position, you get Santa Claus. What did you do this for Christmas? So you don't need to take extra letters, and the same letters. By the way you engage the company human being, by the way you interact, by the confidence you exude, to a very large extent, you will do business the same way. So for every party member, if you know you MP, yeah, banana, say, Papa, may I get confidence in you. If you want to make people know you well, you say, I trust my MP, APC. If you want to get the car, you wear a Sunday, I trust APC MP. Our MPs will defend us. If we now organize gala for them, the APC musicians will do something for them. Love battle them. Trust me, that day when they go to Napiana, they will stand together. Because once upon a time, we trust them. So I ask everybody, Lord continue to get faith and confidence. Lord support them. Lord continue to hear around them. What you want to get at. And we'll vote for we, and we'll stand by we, and then don't demonstrate that to me in the engagement and conversations with them. Finally, the party leadership don't decide for me to get a mammoth meeting, a big meeting at Atuga Stadium on Saturday. The party leadership know waiting for do for steer the ship. We need to take a coordinated position on some of them there. A peaceful assembly. We go with numbers and listen to the leadership. Let the leadership say, you know what? Now so government don't do opposition like this. And ask the international community for what to expect of them. they urge everyone, whether you're in a district executive or region, or you're a member of one of the organs, let we all come together and support the leadership to ensure that we get voting parliament for the movie when they do it. The referendum they come. I read some sites saying government ready for perform the referendum. The census they come. Government don't fund majority of the things they wait for do for me to get the census. So you ask yourself, this government where they pay salaries on 10 after 40 days. You ask yourself, this government where they spend nearly 40% of the revenue, domestic revenue where they collect for just service domestic and foreign debt, external debt. This government where not able to keep the schools together. This government will not able to give 1 cent for a whole year to all the local councils in the country. And that same government, they put money together for fund heavily the census and the referendum what it now. You don't open the eye, you don't read between the lines. I want to think and think deep. And I say all of this because I've been part of the process. And I know that we shall be go to the right place. Government need to do the right thing. But we all get a role to play. I tell you, I thank you for that attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Falamara, members of the court estate. You don't see, you don't listen the presentation. At the end of the conference, I will get a chance to ask questions. We all will ask questions, but just to the members of parliament, the executive of the party, they meet with una all immediately after this press conference. Not in this hall, but at the party office. All MPs. So they allow wait, the one that will not come in, not one when they come around. I mean, doctor say one thing, we all need for wake up. Somebody just sent a post to me, say, and they try for clarify, they asked me if that's true. So tell some of them I go know. They say they don't increase petrol from 25. Today government they put out a release. So now when I see them on today they put out a press release where they want for increase fuel price. But this now I surprised them, they surprised me now. So tell me go wake up one morning, they surprised me back. So these are the things we talk about. Why we will make our responsibility as citizens. For make sure we address the issues that are so, and we stand up for this country, and we stand up for what give we right as citizens. And the Constitution, I give me a you right. We not for just sit down, let a few make how they want them because they feel say it will satisfy them at this moment. Not considering how much impact it will get on them you negatively. But will now we continue with the press conference. I now invite one of the finest and the youngest and the sharpest brains who get at this country. Very young man, we at a young age, they don't set plenty records, they don't make history, they don't contribute a lot. Not only to APC as a political party, but to Salon as a country at a young age. And they can't talk to me, a lawyer, a politician, a lawyer. And they can't talk to me on the legal implications of critical amendments where government proposed to the 1991 Salon Constitution. And no less a person, but a brother and a comrade, Usman Abdal Timbo. I go can address me.
yesterday, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice laid before the House of Parliament a bill we call the Constitution of Sierra Leone Amendment Act 2025. Day before yesterday, inside Parliament, we've been able to hold the pre-legislative hearing with the same Attorney General through the leadership in the Legislative Committee of Parliament. We present and explain the provisions and the rationale behind this bill to we the members of Parliament. Maybe to some of you, it is to knowledge, but to other people, maybe the ordinary people, the APC people, the people of Sierra Leone, so tell to everybody understand. But why this happened because by the Constitution of Sierra Leone, particularly Section 108(1), any law for amend the Constitution of Salone, the Parliament bears responsibility for doing that. And that is why, even though the Attorney General and the team, they don't put together that document in the form where they want to put them, they therefore bring them back to the House of the People. Because Parliament, we will be represent our interests and our voices and our aspirations. By the same law, it said before they do the first reading for the Parliament, they don't publish this bill in 2 gazettes, 9 days apart, before they bring that kind of Parliament. Whether they do this or they not do one, we don't start or ask through the government printers for them to tell we. Because as a customary or as of right, every gazette where they do in the kind of Parliament. But to we no surprise, we not see them gazettes then later we pigeonhole them in Parliament. So the first bet we will forget and for make we ensure say that 2 gazettes, the 2 editions of the gazette, when they publish this bill, then they actually publish it. If they're not published on there, and then the best they begin. However, we want to make it very clear, not just as members of Parliament, but as a party, that we are committed to the constitutional advancement of the laws of Sierra Leone. This not starts now, but we know say from the Constitutional Review Committee headed by Justice Kawan, where we been put together, we been get the intention for change the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Not only because we feel say the 1991 Constitution foolish, but not because we feel say after so many years, times have changed, and we need to make amendments to that Constitution day. We've not been done the process, but we get white paper and what we do, and we'll not be able to do a referendum because of the thing that will be happening, the Ebola, the this, the that. We were constrained to do a referendum. But the APC government, led by President Kourouma, was determined to move this nation forward constitutionally. In the same vein, after the TIFD elections in 2023, and we believe and agree say we will for achieve electoral justice now through a tripartite process where we lead to the 80 recommendations. This has been the other way for make we overturn the TIF with 2023 election. So one for say recommendations we get for do with legal reforms, particularly amendment of the Constitution. We are not against it. And if not in there inside this bill, when I get on a Parliament, we go look at them. as recommendations will then bring to Parliament. We all know say they call their recommendations, and not only Parliament na get the right and power for make laws for Sierra Leone. Not to tripartite committee, not to CRC committee, Constitutional Review Committee. Wetin this mean? If any change dey inside it, even the tripartite report, if things can dey inside it, where we feel say not reflective of the aims and aspirations and desires of the people who they represent, we go team up against them. They don't bring these instruments before we in a parliament. And we, as a proactive caucus in a parliament, the APC caucus, through the leader of parliament, it been set up a subcommittee for go and look at this bill clause by clause, in tandem with the tripartite report and also with the report and white papers of the Justice Edmund Cowan of blessed memory, a report. We don't put a position together, we don't discuss it with the party and the legal team, and we don't come together with one position when an Inge for lead the arguments of the APC in the parliament, both at the legislative committee and when we come to the plenary at the well of parliament. At the same time, now Inge for lead the way how we communicate as a party, whether as parliamentarians or whether as a party structure to across all media, as well as to the people there at all levels of the party organization. Like I said, along with this bill and we don't go through work. The APC is not against the improvements of the laws of Sierra Leone, but we are against any law where anybody wants to make for benefit himself as a party and not a law for the interest of the entire nation. We will resist it. We will resist it today. We will resist it tomorrow, and we will resist it forever. We are a party that represents the people and the interests of the people, not just the APC. Now, in the binding thing, we hold the APC together, and this is the philosophy of the APC. Inside this constitution, he said, I want to make particular reference. So one major thing where people don't make reference to now, the method of electing the president of Sierra Leone. By this constitution, section 1083, subsection 3, he said if you want to amend an entrenched clause, then a clause will nobody not for change, you for go to referendum. That all man will register for vote, therefore put them before them back for let them vote for this constitution or this amendment. But this particular one, we therefore do with the way how we they elect the president, not to entrench clause. So that means there's no need for care back to the people there for make them do the amendments. So within a parliament, we will discuss them, and if they get 2/3 votes in favor, then they can pass them to law and send them to the president for what he call assent. This section where they want for amend. In the Constitution 1991, it said that 55% now you need for make cross the threshold for being elected president of Sierra Leone. This, I don't want to talk with personal opinion, but I feel say not be unfair. Because of a population of 8 million, not only 3.2 million valid votes. So even half of the population not even they vote in the first place. For make President's Bureau getting 56% where they get, because not only get, he only gets about 1.5 million or so people voting for him. how can you say you have the legitimacy of the majority of the people of this country if now only 1.5 million or thereabout now in vote for you of a population of 8 point something million? So that just to show you say, even the people that were think for 55% at the time, they're not crazy. But like how Dr. Mara said, looking at trends across the world, the tripartite report reduced that to 50% plus 1, plus 25% in half of the districts of this country. They don't tell you what they do, and then the Secretary General also be allude to that. They say a simple majority of the votes cast, or the valid votes cast, plus 2/3 of the districts will against Sierra Leone. 2/3 of the districts, let's say we get 16 districts for now. 2/3 of the districts are 10. 10. You only need to get 10 plus 20%, now 10 of them districts. Last show you what happened in 2023. We make the mess where they do, where we show the whole world. Say, even the thief where they thief, it don't make sense to then separate the thief. So now they want to find a way for cleaner so that 2028 they will thief the election without people asking questions and they will legally justify it. 2023 elections and they read for the districts them where they get at least 20%. Districts they were in a William strongholds. No, I will read all, let you know the total number. Kailaun district, they give themselves 96%. Kelema district, 94.9% to 95%. Kono district, they give themselves the majority. Bombali, they give themselves 6.7 when at 7%. Tonkolili, they give themselves 14%. Koinadugu, they give themselves 30%. Falaba, they give themselves 50.7 when at 51%. Cambia, 34%. Karine, 26%. Post-Loco, 35.8 when at 36%. Western Urban, 42%. Western Rural, 45%. Moyamba, 78%. Both, 95%. Pucherun, 93%. Both, 87%. When you consider districts where they get over 20%, now 14 districts. 14 districts. That means that light number where they give themselves 56%. They don't need for do them again. The next election, they can give themselves 40%, or they give themselves 45%, then give me 30%, then give XYZ political party 6%, then they win at 13 districts. Or they give themselves 20%. Now we don't stronghold them. Like Cambia, like Karine, like Potloko, like Western area rural, Western area urban. Then give themselves the one and they. Then they win the election. Then people have to say we fool until they get post where they talk say we are unprogressive. They get post where they talk say everybody that APC na fool. We want to make them know say we know the fool where they think say the fool where they paper. And we're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. There are many other things where other people don't allude to, and I will talk about them. But like I talked earlier, say section 1083 talks say if they touch any entrenched clause inside the constitution, they need for care and go to referendum. How they don't tie themselves, they balance stay They get 2 clauses there when they put inside this bill. Section 85 of the Constitution, where therefore do with the dissolution of Parliament. Section 85 say Parliament for dissolve 5 years after it first sit down. And 87 say 90 days after Parliament dissolved, therefore hold a general election for elect the members of Parliament. This means and at this we don't use after Parliament's law. 3 months after Parliament's law, therefore don't call election for elect a new president of this nation. Now, if you want for pull down day, because when to the area, now that they want for pull down the where the world don't show them that, say you cannot do this without going to the people. We don't hear rumor say they want for pull down inside this bill. So they're not going to go for a referendum. The waiting that they fail for realize at the moment they pull this, it affects some of the clauses that they bring. For example, one clause where they say 5 years after every election, the second weekend or the second Saturday in November, then for whole presidential election, it ties with 85 and 87. So if you pull 85 and 87, you get to go back and go pull that clause the way you put for the date for the election. And then no one for do it. So let them know say, you tamper with that too. You get to tamper with plenty other things within other parts inside the Constitution. We want to make them know say we know. And we want to inform una. Now make we talk like Creole. So una go tell the people there now, because you are ambassadors, for go and tell the people say this thing where they want for being so, is not correct. And for let them do it, they get to come back to una. We not accept any bypass. If they talk about the legal implications of this, without going in depth into the provisions of every section where they inside. Because beaucoup things there we will not agree with. But I want for before I end, I just remember this. The PR system, we don't talk about them. And we will continue for talk how we dare against them. Because tripartite report say, therefore consult. Therefore do consultation broadly. You sit down to yourself, you talk to yourself, you say you don't consult. When civil society organizations sit down and tell you, say no, we don't want them. The traditional heads, paramount chiefs, don't tell you, say no, we don't want them. We don't explain to you how places have been excluded from party office now. Take on a party on a shell. We not get nobody where they represent. But you go down the constituency or Usa Adena or Return, you get 2 members of parliament. Look Ligos. You go Long League, you get Tawa, you get Nice Guy. You go Wilberforce, you get Best and you get your SLPMP. While all the other places here, you don't get people that will represent them. But we don't talk about this PR and how we are against them. But I also want to make them know, I want to draw their attention. The thief where they want for thief through the census. They don't delay the census in 2026, thinking that we're not going to meet up the 2 years, 24 months, for make the established constitution, for make them do demarcation there before the 2028 election. Or we want to remind them, say, by Daniel drafting, they say decennial census. Decennial census. For the one that will not understand that big word there or that big expression there, decennial census na census when they do after every 10 years. We want to make them know say we know say midterm census is different from decennial census. That census when they do 2021, when a midterm census by Daniel draft, it cannot be used for demarcate districts. It cannot be used for create new districts. The Bandajuma and Pankuma, the one we talk about, it cannot be used. The only decennial census we get and will be valid before the 2028 election, the 2015 census, decennial census results. And we are ready to stand by that. And we want to make them know say, we know say, the last decennial census was alone and the 2015 census results. We thank you very much. God bless you all.
We want to say plenty thank you to Honorable Usman Abdul for such an eloquent presentation and for reminding me of the tricks of this wicked government. The tricks and the games of this wicked government. The wicked government will not rig election. The wicked government will not rob the people of their representation. And this same wicked government will impose extreme hardship on the people of this country. But they don't stop only at that. They also want to continue or play the dirty games what they played in the last election for figure out a way, for maneuver and manipulate a way for staying in governance. And Honorable Usman Abdul we say we will resist that. Now we want to come to the next speaker, the next panelist. We will talk about the PR system and how it's
the eloquent panelists Dr. Mara, of course, to go touch a little on the topic where we just make a presentation of. We appear as against the first part of the post. We get a bill where they before we, and I will say properly so because they don't lay the table of parliament for consideration. We contain a clause where means say part of the clause where they put for the one way specific to PR, government will propose say the only means of elections of members of parliament will be only PR. When we say even the existence or the provisions in the extant constitution of 1991, when at 38, we talk say every constituency will return a single member of parliament, and 38A will make provision where we call it as a circumstantial law. In other words, a law will only take effect in an event 38 not able to take effect. And the condition precedents are very clear. Now only a situation where government not able for own census, and government no get maybe they play in a situation of war like it happens in 1996. We almost get 1996 we are in a war situation, and the immediate census at that time was in 1985, where we say the 10 years validity of that census if it don't lapse, and as a result there was no way they will use the 1985 census to make it be a means of boundary limitation for the 1996 constitution. As a result, they began to use a national PR. When we say every particular percentage they get seats based on the national percentage when they get. In 2002, the same thing they used PR because we are still in the war situation. And the immediate census there was in 1985 again. So as a result, they introduced what they call the district block system. But because the only means we're going to determine population or representation now by population where national statistics they issue. Because at that time there was no clinical data, that was why in all districts in this country they shaped 8 districts. That's why as small as Bump was, where even the only two of them in populated past Bump district begets 8 constituencies, the same as Western area urban, the same as Kotoko, the same as other areas. When you multiply and after that parliament, and the 112 constituencies every day, plus the 12 Comanche, it sum up to 124 constituencies. We don't do PR, but as of 2007, Unona said we don't do census in 2004, sorry. So we have credible data. We of course they use now for urban limitation for determining waiting for the outcome of the 2007 elections. And of course, will be also used for 2012 elections as well. So we don't test all the situations. I mean, we should make provisions for both in the situation where there should be PR and where there should be PR. I might get one provision. They say if it's not broken, why fix it? Nothing not broke. We don't test PR. We don't test first past the post. And we know the advantages and disadvantages. The core of representation or the core of parliament is representation. That's why in responsibility as members of parliament, apart from lawmaking, that of representation. Anytime when you not get mandate from the people, then you are not a member of parliament. So if you have a system where a political party has to determine representation rather than the people, then it questions the representation of that particular representative. Many arguments they already advance say how PR less violence. First party post promote violence. But we all know the evidence. The activities leading to 2023 elections. When we get PR, they never come to party office. When there is PR leading to 2020 elections, they born who party office now. When they say na PR, we all know what happened at push on this street, where whole political parties participated, they are just they prevent them from observing polls. That never happened in any type of election period. We see what happened at Abuja again, where whole set of hoodlums, they make video and get to say, if you flag a go there, they don't make roadblocks and they're ready for pass from filter if you go there. So therefore, me believe say, PR, no PR, or PR or first party post, not really determine violence or violence will be. Violence or non-violence it will be determined by stronger institutions. When you get strong institutions, we not encourage impunity, trust me, there will be no violence. And that's why we have record that when we conducted the 2020 election, that in 2020 election, it will be one of the least violent elections. Yet it was the first party post election. Simply because there were institutions where they called people to vote. Then the talk said PR it included against inclusivity. When the fact that they told the public say this is completely erroneous, it's fallacious, and now you don't merit or let for stand-up based on the available facts. As we speak, in the 2012, from 2007, 2012, and 2018 elections, every person in this country was represented by a member of parliament irrespective of the political party. It doesn't matter which party, whether it could be independent, it could be SLPP, it could be APC. But what was assured of people is that you are assured of being represented by a person. And that is what PR, as you know them, this particular PR, when they introduced. With this PR, just like how Timbo said, for instance, like in Port Novo, there are critical areas where so crucial that today they have been totally excluded from parliamentary representation. Areas like Manly, where Confrence is today, they don't get MP today. Not from the APC, not from the SLPP. When you go, for instance, 7th and Rosa, they don't get MP, whether independent, whether APC or SLPP. When you can have Mashakawa and President of the two, the same situation, they don't get one MP where they represent them. When you come now, Moyamba, even the district headquarters town, when I'm presenting, when I'm Moyamba Junction and Moyamba Town District, and Moyamba Town as the district headquarters town, they don't get representation of parliament. Instead, they go cluster. Now, Chenge, Usai, a very small coincidence where they get 2 MPs, will get 1 APC, and that's of 1 SLPP. In the first party post, there was no way the people of Moyamba for the left out without representation. Again, when you can have picture, when more glaring the fact of the matter is, just after Bremale, almost 10 you come to not compulsory, take them to trees, no side, no the other side, we get parliamentary representation. And just within next span there, we get 9 constituencies. We're totally excluded from parliamentary representation. For instance, we get constituency 117. We know say this is our constituency where we get MP. Constituency 118, this is our constituency where we get MP. Constituency 119, constituency 120, constituency 121, 122, 123, 124, and even 126. We saw this one at Bufi. They not get parliamentary representation. So if you get a system, whether they propose the question of a PR being inclusive or being more representative, this particular prevailing evidence don't show say this cannot stand the test of time because it don't fall short of representation and it don't have thousands of people from adequate parliamentary representation. Again, then they say with PR they spend less from by-elections. When to me, you go say yes, then you get savings. But it's a savings for government and not the people. The essence of government is to serve the people. Whatever you spend on the people, it's not costly. Whatever you spend on the welfare or on the representation of the people, you don't forget price, it will be priceless. He say 1 million or 1 billion euros. You know the MP for us spend, if that MP say that to get a parliamentary representation, now the various areas, the way they don't get MPs. Every MP now so they do one school, one bridge, one project, one from one community to another. When you quantify, even 5 times more than what the government they save because of the absence of by-election. And when the by-election, when they run away, when they kill, yes, you go see by-election because they go just out one person where they are the first of the list, they counter. But it is, like I say, it is just for the government, not for the people. You know, they give representation for the people and where get the vacancy anymore. Even the Speaker of Parliament, when he resigned for become Speaker, today because he don't insist he don't become vacant, the people of one island don't go now without parliamentary representation because when he come out, the person next on the list, they put an icon where MP already. So as I speak, the people of one island do not have a member of parliament. Is that democracy? Now, Brahma, who said one MP died, when when they elect, when he died, when they can't happen, when they say they replace them, not to outside they go to MP. But for first party post, the people are short of representation. It doesn't matter which party, but at every different time, there must be representation where we pay information. It continues for a lay of take the price of any people. The same as I said, Brahma, when he come out, now bossing na other side, who say MP already, now they go take her. The most immediate case now that of Tonko Limba, where we honorable may so rest in perfect peace, honorable Anedura, where he died. After when he died, he better to open a Tonko. In the first part, he post the pro from the elections and make sure say the people of Tonko get voice in the parliament. Instead, because of the present prevailing system, who say come out na Mamolo, where if you say the people of Tonko, they now go totally without parliamentary representation. And post-party post don't show say they promote more diversity than PR in many forms. In the last parliament, we get almost every tribe represented in parliament. We have a number of parliaments where they represent the Yalongas, when are one of the most minority tribes in this country. When you go to Falaba, we get MPs where come up from the Kurankos tribe, we get the Yalongas, we get the Kurankos, the Maningos, and even the Fulas. They are able and adequately represented using the first party post. So then now the 2 tribes from Falaba that they represented in parliament. Does PR promote diversity? No. Based on the available fact, doesn't promote diversity. They must say they encourage smaller parties. But the fact that they will not promote smaller parties, rather it kills smaller parties. For instance, in 2018, or even if you take for 2007, now 3 parties in our parliament. We get APC, we get SLPP, we get PMDC. When you go to 2018 election, we even get 2 more parties, and even independent, we get parliamentarians in our parliament. That tells you the beauty of democracy. That people can even choose as to whether they vote for an independent candidate or a political party candidate. So in an extent that we have three MPs who are independent MPs, 2 from Kalau and 1 from Bujam. Now, we get, of course, C4C. When we get 8 seats, we get seat for NGC. When we get 4 from Gambia districts. And again, in fact, to a point, even the district town chairman, it was occupied by somebody, the NGC. That is what a good system. That was when we get first part the vote. But with this system now, I tell you, go and check the records. There is nowhere, no more where even the PMBC PMBC will win at any part of this country. The same for NGC, when we get the whole district council, when we dominate a district council, when we get 4 parliamentarians, they cannot even win a world election, not to talk about a parliament elections. The same thing goes for C4C or not. For a party we dominate, they cannot even boast of 1 councillor as we speak. So that tells you every advantage necessary where possible propose for PR is not getting in any way for making light now to the advantages of first party post. Probably the definition, the system, the only way it's PR is inclusive, is when one party like theirs can manipulate seats in their stronghold while preventing other parties from having one, such as that called inclusivity. Because the facts available here, when people read the fact, it shows that we get a 7% above. Because if we go at the level point something threshold, we are supposed to get a seat in more districts. But because of the low PR, the only opportunity they avail is they avail manipulative opportunity. You can manipulate and meander your way to get what you want as they want it. So as a result, they prefer PR, but if election, if democracy, we say a government of the people, for the people, and by the people, where the people for determine what they do, I think say, every indication also say, first past the post is better. And that's why Revelation 17 was very clear. For make them go consult, do dialogue, for make them choose with an preferred form of electoral process. And the voices, we are clear. From civil societies to permanent chiefs, from permanent chiefs to every major interest groups, their voices were very hard and they presented a position. Say, PR, no, they promote inclusivity and so therefore people first part the post. But the minister was very much deceptive that even when he go to parliament, in the time for I would say APR, na APC, na they don't propose them. During in the Justice Kawan Commission's Commission and Review Committee report. But at the time of why you also take one of the recommendations when we profile again the last same report, when talks about use the Supreme Executive Authority of the President for be replaced with the executive authority. Instead of Supreme Executive Authority, it will now be Executive Authority, instead of Chief Executive Authority, instead of Supreme Executive Authority. So that we will reduce the powers of the President. Because you know say it's advantage them, it will going to make President go become more autocratic than ever before they maintain a particular country. So again, I want to tell Una, I see. They will try for toy and think say they are smart, but one for tell say we are smarter. Our leader have made our position very clear. We didn't have parliament for make laws. And that's why we don't work out for listing during the pillage and even the tabling of the bill, because we are lawmakers, we are there to make laws. And we are ready to join them in making a fine law or fine laws that promote the well-being of Australia as enshrined in Section 73 of the Constitution. But I have to tell them, say, they cannot introduce a PR. They cannot introduce a PR without getting a 2-thirds and linking to a referendum. You don't have to ask me how, because I won't tell you now. But when the time comes, we'll tell them that they cannot achieve a PR without we not get secure 2/3 majority, for which they cannot get because by the composition of this parliament, even if they all vote for themselves, the parliament votes for them. With 2 MP them, where being denied the party, decide to vote for them. They know they get the 2/3. It means they still need 2 MPs there from the side. And at the time now for amendment of constitution, pursuant to section 108, that determination of that vote is an entrenched clause. In other words, the manner of voting for an alteration or amendment to the constitution is different from how they vote for section 29(3) of the 1991 provision and the state of emergency. It's different from section 79 when elections for the speaker. It's different from most even the 1377 where we use for the determination of vote for Tilopia or the removal of judges as the case may be. The rules have been. There is a definite article which says the members of parliament. In other words, we almost say the members of parliament here you pass to 149. Did they mean the 2/3 of it? If you say they forget 99.3. Now we're not half not another. So we'll say 99 or only here. Then we say then will be a 2/3. And I'm going to tell you say we are willing to cooperate. And so therefore they call on them for many continue people engagement. So that we'll get along when we stand the test of time, when we will serve just APC, when we will serve just SFP, but rather a law when we will serve the people of this country. Last day I want to me say every advantage where they don't advance for PR, from violence to representation, from inclusivity to diversity. This PR where we don't support, it don't fall short of every standard. Of course, the 30% quota, it can be more assured in a first party post than even PR. Because government can make policy and declare position for the gender set or gender contested consensus. You go say that 001 normal number of percent. It means if I'm an independent candidate, now I'm for sale. It's been an SFP, now I'm for sale. It's been an APC, now I'm for sale. It's assured that whoever wins in that consensus should or would be a woman. It's assured. Unlike how it happens in the PR, where we get any as well woman as 10 piece. Because in a PR system, like for example, supposed to get 2 MPs on a woman. Even and then we get 1 positive woman representative. Because they take 2 from APC, the next one instead of one be woman, then they Falaba go without representative. The same thing for Tom Colin. We should say all right, and then they also go to 2 to 3 MPs, but because of the system where they use, it cannot. And so I will tell and say, if we use the first party post, it creates complete assurance for women to be more represented, even beyond the 30%, as we swear in 2018 to 2020 elections. Catalan, they get 4 MPs in the parliament. It means even without PR, they have 40% without PR. Today, they have been reduced to a mere 30%. So that tells you, you don't go achieve 30% with the PR system. You can even achieve more without PR, as the case was for Kalam district. On that note, I want to thank Kuna and I want to call on the government. We are willing for dialogue, collaboration to make the law where we will stand the test of time, where all man will honor and become a constitution of Sierra rather than a constitution of the SNP. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I mean, how many times or how many ways we will explain to them people here say they for do things in the interest of this country? How many ways and how many manners we go to justify say what in they claim not get justification? How many ways and how many manners we go to tell them say we not demonstrate say we want to reduce violence by our actions, not by our words said? How many ways and ways we will tell them say one no single time not they will not condemn violence when they commit against the opposition? Lord propose say that PR will prevent the violence when always they do against the opposition. How many ways you go tell them people are this? Let them show their love for this country. We want to challenge them. Say all what they don't do is they come in prominence, they don't show love to this nation. Otherwise, they don't mandate for showing. Say they always find way for seek their interest or hold on to power. Where we make or cause them for do such a dishonorable thing for rig an election. One tell Honorable Aaron Haruna Roma, Deputy Leader, thank you very much for that presentation.
So now we want to summarize everything. We want to bring all things together. And the person who will do that, not less a person, but the leader of the opposition in this 6th parliament, and a member only represent Kafubulon, and Putloko district, Honorable Abdul Kago.
A. I don't hear you. A. B. C. APC. I want to recognize the presence of the acting chairman of the party, the executive of the party, the PRO, CD, and I want to recognize the presence of the flag bearers here at the Ungea, and the able parliamentary leadership, and members of parliament, members of the 4th estate, and party supporters that will come. I also want to recognize the presence of Barrister Boniface, who play a very key role in the tripartite committee. I recognize your presence, sir. Yes, sir. I just come for just polish all waiting and don't say. When Honorable Tigo made he talk about the recommendation where they make for order for the president. Say the person for own 50% plus 1 vote, then if forget 25%, now half of the district. But when they come, then change them to simple majority and 20% now 2/3 of the district. Now, we are lawmakers. The way we see the law, not also other person will see the law. And law when you make they make a law for let it be prone to abuse. After considerable look at that very recommendations, we develop another opinion. Mr. Chairman, sir, I strongly believe say in a law where for determine the presidency, we not for include district votes as part of the law for determine order for the presidency. Order for the president. I will tell you why. When you look the Local Government Act of 2022 and even the one way we did 2004, yes, it should say for let them declare a new district. Now the president get the right on the advice of 3 people left: Minister of Local Government, Chief Electoral Commissioner, and the Finance Minister. Once they don't advise her, and if it say yes, then for go declare a new district, it just need for send a parliament a statutory instrument. Waiting a statutory instrument. Statutory instrument are instruments where they derive in authority from Act of Parliament. When they get there, and when they can go statutory instrument and parliament, you ain't no want that at all. You ain't say no, this statutory instrument is not for pass. Now you forget the 2/3 majority. When they get me? So if today the Minister of Finance and Vice President, Chief Electoral Commissioner, Vice President, Local Government Minister, Vice President, say that they create 10 districts more than the Southeast. President need just for send the statutory instrument and parliament. And for level stopper, now we go need the 2/3 majority vote. So if you can't put say, order for being president, forget 20%, now half of the district, they get tendency for creating more districts then where will make it difficult for letting get 20%, now half of the district. I don't know if you navigate me. Yes, because one thing we don't notice, they notice say we eye don't open by the rigging way they do. So now law they want to take for win the elections. Now law they want to take for win the elections. And from the day where the tripartite committee, they do it in good faith. They do it in very good faith. Because
with people we get say, na very intelligent people. They are extremely intelligent. They do it in good faith. But then people there, now people there when you can see, you agree with them in good faith. When they go, then they go change everything you agree. They get plan A, they get plan B. You see. So we they see and say, in no way they for time to district vote. Because from the day when they get that discussion, then at the tripartite, when they say, well, Lord begin make us so to district, because once he let the person get national appeal, they get this, and then they begin talk about the creation of new districts. So they will create plenty districts for themselves. And it will even prone to abuse by even future presidents the way they come. When president no one has power, now more districts they will create. We will make it very difficult for like opposition not able to get the number of districts when it gets na use normal. So as parliament, we for do due diligence to this nation. We for ensure say we prevent any law where they make one political party entrench itself into power. Then secondly, the party don't call me. The chairman of the party, the acting chairman, the secretary general, publicity secretary, they don't call we the members of parliament. And I want to seize this opportunity in the presence of the members of parliament for assure Nabak say, we will talk with one voice. And this time around, any member of parliament who wants something funny, we will expose you. We will expose you. Because for letting you go to parliament, not for SLPP saying no. For letting you go to parliament, APC deprive plenty people away to want to see more like you. Now they send you to parliament. So when they send you to parliament, now for seek the interest of this country and seek the interest of the political party. Not to forgo take money for your personal pocket. The executive therefore talk to me, but as the leader of the party in parliament, I want also assure and say, I don't talk to the team. I don't talk to the team. And the team for no say, now lower level will be council so. After lower level, we get to flag bearer, now award of party symbol. If APC get together 100%, SLPP, they're not able to change command by this constitution. They're not able to change command by this constitution. If SLPP change anything in this constitution, it means that APC MPs they also responsible for that act.
Yes.
They we responsible for that act. So that makes the secretariat they can engage members of parliament for Lord to serve the country, Lord will serve this nation, and Lord will do the best we can do. And also, if I can talk small to waiting. The brilliant presentation where Honorable Aaron Aruna Owoma present. If I can talk smallly. Now, if me, Sidi, Logos, and Ufa, we all day na lovely. Yeah, along say we all day na retreat. Now we all want the symbol of the party. We all want the symbol of the party. Then, or we all in our western area. Love say, CD in our western area, me in our western area, Logos in our western area, Ufa in our western area. Then Ufa, now he don't make sure say he deal with the people there. Now he don't make sure say he represents the people there. Now he don't make sure say he do everything for the people there. Come rain, come shine, he deal with the people there. Then now Ufa, the people they want for let me go represent them. Then CD, not be ever there in constituency. It not be ever there concept. So tell a Kabbalah they sit down. Or so tell a other side they sit down out of the country and sit down. Then, take come for go to parliament. Now western area, they put CD number 1. They put me number 2. They put Logos number 3. they put Ufa number 4 and a 4 seats there. It means say all that one where Ufa may not the work, where it don't get our support from people left. All the people left, whether they can vote, now to CD the vote state, that's fine. So if APC get 2 seats out of the 4 seats, it means that na CD and me they go to parliament. Ufa what they make, we get all the vote that even they go to parliament. I don't know if you get it. You know they go to parliament. Now don't assume say CD don't go to parliament. Yeah? Yeah, this illustrative example why they make, not to say CD not the go to constituency. We all go see this in a one man way, government conshine, it is in constituency. Now one man way, in fact not to a constituency, there is district and a region, a command authority, and one of the hope there of APC in the southeast. Yes, of course. Now, assume say CD don't go to parliament. Yeah? When CD go to parliament, the people that get problem today, they come in and for Lego represent, they go talk what happen with them in parliament. CD know they open the box for people left. You know they listen to the people left. You know they do nothing for the people left. You know I know whether in fact whether electors say come on Western they get back, he go. If CD come next time back for can stand, he just need the party for taking it, they put a number 1 back. All would have been able to back, then they number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. If possible, say then no, they come back. Now, who that the party want, who that the party said, now he will come back to parliament. If not selfish party executive will get, they will embrace that kind of lobby. But the party said, no, we don't want that kind of power, though. We don't care go to the people left. We will believe now people left for determine who that for them in parliament. So if we determine the way they come, they give us symbol, we must have no big person at this party. Now we people there, they say no, now trouble one. We must have no big people there. And you watch the generation of MPs the way they are parliament, they will tell you say, not of political influence can we go to parliament. Now because we people they say, now we the one, now women don't deal with them. Most of the MPs there, when they are parliament now, they fetch for symbol with people that we get money past them, we get influence past them, we connected past them. But the party say no, Lord will look who that the people they want. Lord will fail who that the people they want. Now that makes most of our MPs them and we MPs them, they not they play with the people. As we they talk, so we get MPs them, we don't undertake developments then at their constituencies. We get MPs the way they build schools. We get like Jawa say yes. In the big school, in the big hospital, in fact, now women go set for open and 3 schools. We get honorable AKK. Instead, not to about 4 hospitals, the win. Yes. We get honorable Latif. Instead, don't begin one, big always the big. We get almost all the MPs there. Honorable Aaron, way ready. All the bike man there, if they give them fear money, they all in the fear the bike there na Kwenadugu. We get a lot of things that are calling sorry. That our changing constituency. Yes. We get a lot of things when we MPs that they do. You know why they buy the whole come meet at the party. We meet them say no to they're not left and left foot. We see the responsibility where they get. We see the people the way they take care of. We see the way whether they make the party entrench. So we say for come. Now we say no, we say no go sit down. Me say why they talk to us so. I get free school na Lunge. When no beginner they buy uniform. And they buy uniform for the world school. And they pay teachers then at the world school. And they buy bag for the world school. No beginner they buy games. No book, no nothing. We dey do it for them. Because we believe say outside politics you for sacrifice for your people there. Now that they will make them elect you. So imagine, meanwhile they buy uniform so, imagine, or Jawa when they build school so, imagine the party go come with other person wey can today, they can put am at the list number 1. Now he go na parliament, Jawa go na parliament. So we say, if this government believes say, they respect the people there, let them give the people there the right for choose who that for lead them. Then also, the argument there about the register in political party. When I hear some man they talk say how APC na the knowledge smaller party, APC na they believe in pluralism, APC na they exclude other party. But remember, Honorable Aaron mentioned this. Before now, we get 4 political parties in the parliament. We get independent candidates in the parliament. But after they go with this PR system, can we go to court? We can take them to court. After they can we go to court, we go to court, they pass the PR system. Out of the 4 political parties, extra way we did on 4 wrong. No other political party no dey. No independent no dey. Some man dey argue say, well, let them bring down the threshold down. If they bring down the threshold down, it will make way for smaller political parties. And they assure you, it will be difficult for let them bring down the threshold down. Because if they bring down the threshold down, more members of parliament will go to parliament. And the parliament, as it is, so it don't full, sits not there again. Part of members of parliament, they sit down and do one sit in the wall. So why you want for forces in a system where they exclude members from other political parties and independent MPs? So we are resolved, and we want to assure the party say we are resolved, and I want to seize this opportunity for appreciate the committee wey have been put together for look at the review and the work wey the committee do. The committee in chairman na Honorable Daniel Brahma Kuruma. Today, another year, he go on medical. He is not well. The Lord keep him in with prayers. And the deputy chairman, now be Honorable Aaron Aruna Kuruma. So to we, sir, Abuwale, the committee stand up, let me clap for them and appreciate them. So all members of that committee will do this review. Including the secretary, that one can get problem. That one can get, and I love clap for them, When is secretary? I love clap for them. Okay, well, thank you. Let God bless them. This now for sure say, we say get small amount of expertise then, where able to make something happen at the party. So once more, we want to stay tight, we want to stay focused, we want to not feel distracted. If this process, if they go against the constitution and they want force their way power, we say we'll resist them, and we want to let them know say anybody touch something at the constitution, we're not go through legal means and treason. If you commit treason today, nothing say because you get all the soldier man there, you get all the policeman there, you get government support, you will be free forever. We are young, we get a long way for go. Make sure that you protect yourself by not touching the constitution illegally. After you go.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Leader, the opposition. Thank you for the eloquent presentation. Thank you for all the issues that only touch you life and the people in life. Thank you for the illustrative example that you give for making people understand what this prayer mean and the ramifications. And I believe you also talk about the registration of political parties. And as opposition, we believe say parties and for the multiple parties when they in this country for they because it shape the political will of the ordinary Sierra Leonean. For remind yourself say not all man are APC or SLPP. We get other political parties who get their respective political ideologies, and then we believe say them people then they say for stand beside the day when elections come. And then I could bring people into the fold because times a day where probably ideologies they intersect, they can meet up. And if you don't get that opportunity today, because you say person not win national election in 2 years or 2 subsequent elections, you go to register, you don't eliminate them out of the process, and essentially you don't create an opportunity for law go back to a one-party state. So if they cry say now we believe for one party state, good at the beginning to see that direction and that trajectory they say they want to reintroduce them. I think say at this juncture, we don't get contributions from every panelist, and I want to pass the mic to the publicity secretary. I sure say you get something I might we want to share. And we acting chairman here, probably they go and say 1 or 2 words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. What will take with me home. Thank you very much.
A, B,
C. APC. Leader of our party in Parliament, Honorable Abdul Kago. Members of this committee, we don't enlighten with representative from the media, general members of Parliament. I want to take this opportunity for thank most sincerely. And I don't listen to the explanation from the eminent speaker, the panelists. We, as leaders of this party, we pray no more, but let this be an audio we will send, but they will share to every member of the APC, rather than their abusing audios. We did at a very critical point. We, as an opposition party, we need for take power. It is for us to take it. What happened when activities precedent to the holding of a general election are now being manipulated through the use of constitutional and legislative processes in Parliament? We for resist. And how we will resist? We will educate the people and let them understand the danger of this PR system, the danger of a skewed census process, the danger of the poor implementation of an agreement who they call tripartite, who say they must be implemented. But a provision or a recommendation where the law implement in accordance with law over resistance, like this 2 years. 2025, 990 days for this census, they shift that. Not to we create that. Because not to we create that. If they bring anything like reverting to 2021, where the midterm census result will not be accepted. We will say we know the vote, but this time now we will vote. Beyond will get 1 million support out of 8.17 million. Then he go ahead for do what he feels safe for do. We get the majority. And this majority now they want manipulate using the constitution for review. On that note, I think the media get plenty of questions. I know about the level. But we are now spread the information we will not acquire now universally, so that people will know. Oh, the day they say no, the day they say no, the day they say you no go pass here, they no go pass here. On that note, I thank you very much for your attention. And finally, we get the 31st of January, that man meeting. Then people there will talk back. We will let the entire nation listen to what they need to say. So we are big that all man attend that meeting. It's very, very important. One of those.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to co-moderators, the panelists, the chairman of the great party, members of the Port Estate. We now took the council in question session. We are now, as we also don't say, don't know the questions, we don't know the preambles. Just state your name, the media house, and then ask a question. After we don't close the press conference, members of the Port Estate, as usual, have give them here, and then members of parliament will go upstairs. Also, we will meet with the national executive. Thank you very much.
Sure. All right. Good afternoon.